Today on Across the Fence, we're on the road where history and horses meet at the UVM Morgan Horse Farm. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for choosing Across the Fence. I'm Will Michael. The UVM Morgan Horse Farm here in Weybridge is the home of the oldest continuous Morgan horse breeding herd in the world. The history of the Morgan horse dates back to 1789, when Justin Morgan acquired a stallion he named Figure. A statue of Figure stands front and center here at the farm. This facility has overseen the care, the breeding, and the training of the Morgan horse for 140 years. And along with being a showplace for the breed, the farm also provides UVM students with hands-on learning and world-class educational opportunities. Now, to learn more, I want to introduce the operations manager here at the Morgan Horse Farm. Her name is Margot Smithson. Thanks for having us here this afternoon, and thanks for spending some time with us, Margot.
Thanks for coming down.
I know that your connection to this farm runs deep. My notes remind me that you're a Middlebury native. You grew up less than 5 miles from here. You worked here part-time in the summers. More recently, you worked in the main office, and now you're the operations manager. What is it about this place that's so near and dear to your heart?
Sure. It's a really special place, as most people experience when they come here. There's this wow factor when you come up the driveway. But as you know, a Vermonter and someone who grew up riding horses, this is like a mecca for both of those pieces. So.
I know a lot of school kids still, as they grow up, they learn the story of Justin Morgan and Figure. But for those who don't know, give us some of that history.
Sure, yeah. So unlike typical breeds, it started with one horse, Figure, who was born in 1789, and he was a really remarkably athletic individual and highly sought after as a breeding stallion. And he had this neat characteristic where he had really strong genetics. And so he sort of produced these little carbon copies and thus created this Morgan type that was very influential with the development of this country. They really are an American-made product. They helped settle the West. They were influential in the Civil War, and because of this important role they played historically is why this breed was sought by Colonel Battelle, and he bred Morgans here 140 years ago, and here we are.
And somehow, if you could share with us, how does it make its way from this place training cavalry horses and the work of Colonel Battelle to now the UVM being a steward of the facility?
Sure, yeah. Colonel Battelle, who was a very wealthy philanthropist, he was very influential in Middlebury, but also for the state, and he built this showpiece barn to house his collection of the finest Morgans. He recognized that he wanted the farm and the breed to continue on, and so he deeded the farm to the U.S. government in 1907. He used the herd in the site as a cavalry remount station until 1951, and they concluded the remount program, and the University of Vermont became its steward and has been for since 1951.
And we're going to find out more about this as we continue with our program, but what are the key things now that the facility is used for?
Sure. So we have a working herd of about 40 horses, and we are open to the public May through October. We also have students from UVM that come down for hands-on learning, and actually students from high school, elementary schools, and other colleges do come.
I guess the word that comes to mind, if I understand correctly, there's a bit of a renaissance that is either taking place or about to take place. What are some of the key things that are going on at the farm now in terms of its future?
Sure. You know, as you can imagine, it takes, we want to make sure this very special place continues on for the future, and so we're looking as to how best create a program that's focused on our 3 areas that we do best. So horses, education, and the public experience. And so we're really looking at how can we share this remarkable place and its horses with people and students, and educate people about the many virtues of the Morgan. And so we are looking at expanding our tourism offerings, again, and becoming more integrated with the university and having more educational opportunities for matriculated students. And we really want to continue to showcase our wonderful Morgans.
Well, cool story. So really exciting time for you and everybody here at the farm.
Yes.
a sense of the size or kind of investment that needs to take place to do the things that you want to do and where that funding comes from?
Sure, yeah. So we are in the planning process for a capital campaign that will address some maintenance issues and some programmatic development that will help ensure the sustainability of the farm long term.
And you've talked about being open to the public. Give us some sense of the events, activities, tours, I understand, that you do offer to the public?
Yeah, we're open 9 to 4 daily, and we have guided tours that go through our main barn. Those are every day, and then we also have several events throughout the summer. We have full days in June. Our I guess, most well-known event is Vermont Day, and that's typically in August, early August. And that we showcase our Morgans. It's free admission. It's a really fun family event.
Thanks for having us here.
Thank you
and
for
thanks
coming.
very much for spending some time. We have some other things that we're going to get to.
Sure.
But again, thank you, Margot Smithson, for being with us.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming.
Breeding and training are a big part of what happens here, and so to find out more about that, we're going to meet the farm manager who oversees breeding, training, and the facilities. And so now I want to welcome Kim DeMars. Kimberly, thank you for being with us.
Thank you for coming down.
Now, like Margot, I understand you grew up a short distance from here. My notes tell me that you're originally from Bridport. How did you become part of the Morgan Horse Farm story?
Yeah, thanks for asking. So I grew up in Bridport. I grew up on a small dairy farm, and I used to come here with my family as a small child, and I was always interested in horses and really loved them. And then the opportunity came up in 2012 to become the equine specialist here, and from there I've just stayed, and it's been great.
What does that mean for our viewers? What's the role of the equine specialist?
Sure. So when I was equine specialist, the role was a little different than is now, but essentially it was a support person for the farm director, and so really the assistant.
And right now, being the farm manager, again, sharing with our viewers, what does that mean?
So the farm manager, my position right now, I oversee the day-to-day operations. So we start here in the morning at 7:30. So I oversee the chore routine, the training, the breeding, whatever you can think of, I have to deal with. And it's great. It's a very exciting role, ever-changing, a lot of moving parts. So it's different, it's exciting.
We talked with Margot about the public outreach. As folks come here, are you someone who interacts with them and is able to explain certain things?
Sure. Typically, if they have some lingering questions, I'll field them. Usually I'm not the person that greets them just because we're doing so many other things throughout the day, but I'm always here, so definitely available for anyone if they need anything.
Awesome. Now, is there such a thing as a typical day here at the farm? Maybe, maybe not, but if so, what would that be?
Sure. So like I had mentioned earlier, we start our day at 7:30, usually end around 4:30, 5 o'clock. And the typical day can really be a variety of things. It changes very seasonally. So currently we are in the height of our breeding season and our foaling season, and obviously tourism season is a large part of that. Fall, we wind down a little bit with the tourism aspect, and we focus more on our young horses and training. Winter, as any Vermonter knows, is especially difficult, this winter particularly, and we just try to boil on as much as we can.
Well, it helps to have that experience, I suspect, growing up as a dairy farm kid, to be able to relate that to another aspect of Vermont agriculture.
Absolutely.
What do you describe as the overall goals here at the farm?
So we have a couple goals. Number one is to improve and perpetuate the Morgan breed. We really are an ambassador for the Morgan breed, and we take a lot of pride in that. Another one, obviously, is public outreach. We are really the arm of the university down south here, really a gateway for them. And then we just try to provide educational training and really hands-on experience, not only for the general public, but for students and apprentices as well.
You make an excellent point about representing the university and down below Chittenden County. Are people surprised maybe sometimes when they learn about that UVM is the steward of this facility?
Yeah, usually most people don't realize that the university, that we are owned by the university, that we are really part of them. So that's something as we move forward, we're really trying to instill and kind of rejuvenate, is that we really are truly under that university umbrella.
What would you say is the best part of your job?
The best part of my job is working with the horses, definitely. This morning in particularly, we had a brand new foal arrive, so that's always very exciting. And I think just the day-to-day operations, how it can change so much, really keeps me on my toes.
Now, you just said that as if to you it happens every day. We could create a documentary of it, but is there a nutshell? What happens in that process? What happened here when you say, well, we had a foal this morning?
Well, to be honest with you, I didn't do anything. The mare took care of everything, and I walked into the barn.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
It is.
Is it always that way?
Not always, but typically. And so really she does all the work, and we are just there to monitor and make sure that everything is healthy and where it should be.
And everything is as where it's supposed to be.
For right now, everything is exactly where it should be.
Well, we know you have responsibilities and work. We'll let you get back to
Great.
it. But I want to thank you again
Thank
for
you so much.
having us down and spending some time with us this afternoon. Education is central to what happens here at the farm. An apprenticeship program was started in the early 1970s, and more than 220 apprentices have gone through the program, including our next guest. She's Sarah Favre, who is now the farm's equine specialist that we talked about, and she oversees the apprenticeship program. Sarah, thanks for making the time to be with us on Across the Fence.
Thanks so much for featuring us.
Now, as I said, you're a former apprentice here. You're a UVM alum. I might guess you're living your dream job?
Yeah, absolutely. I had some time to do some other things after college, and then this opportunity opened up, and it's been really great. I've been here just over a year.
Tell us about the apprentice program and who it's designed for.
So the apprentice program is a one-year program. It's an intensive program.
The folks who are in the apprenticeship program, they're here 24/7 essentially.
Yeah. So you get the opportunity to live on the farm, and you work 6 days a week, helping with everything from chores to working with the horses, to helping with breeding, to helping with the foaling. This spring, our apprentice intern was in the barn a lot with me in the middle of the night, watching the foalings, making sure the foal's nursed. So lots of really cool, unique experiences as a part of that program.
Somebody who's watching today's program might say, why would you do that?
Yeah,
So what are the rewards, I guess, is really what I'm asking.
You develop a wonderful work ethic. You get so much experience in all aspects of horse management and horse training. The program really sets you up to go out into the horse world and do whatever you may want to do. We've had alums go to vet school. We've had alums not do anything in the horse world. We've had alums go and work for big riders. We've had, I ran my own farm for a little bit and had a successful lesson program. So it really sets you up to be able to go and do many different things.
I was always told growing up that Morgans they're versatile, easy to teach. Is that true?
I think so, yeah. We have horses here that are capable of doing all different things. Every horse here is different, but we have some that I think that we could jump them, we could put them in the Morgan show ring, we could take them for a trail ride. They would be suitable for a kid, an adult. They tend to have a pretty stocky build, the way they're built means that lots of different people, sizes and ages, can ride them, and they really bond well to their owners and handlers.
That was good. That was great.
How young are the foals when they begin to get some of the basic training?
Really, the minute they hit the ground. Yeah, so if we're around for the foaling, we might help a little bit in terms of getting some of the afterbirth away from the foal and things like that. And we help make sure that the foal stands and nurses within an appropriate amount of time. And then we'll let the mare and foal have some time to really get to know each other. But right away, we do a very simple blood test on the foal in the first day to make sure that it's gotten all of the antibodies it needs. So that is handling right off. We get a halter on the foal within the first couple of days. And just general handling. The sessions are very short, 3 to 5 minutes, put a halter on them, rub them down, and then leave them alone.
But a lot of that can occur in a very public place. Is that a challenge?
It can be, but it can also be really great. You know, we have all of these strangers around. Well, they're strangers to the horses, and we can use the public to help us train our horses. We can say, hey, can you guys over there all start clapping right now? We want to expose this horse to that stimulus. These horses, they see strollers, they see dogs, they see kids running around, all different things. People have different ways of patting them, so they get exposed to a lot just by being here. Some people in the middle of the summer could compare this to a show atmosphere, so they learn to relax in the hustle and bustle of this place.
Well, again, really appreciate your time. Thanks for being with us this afternoon.
Thank you.
For more information about the UVM Morgan Horse Farm, including programs, visiting hours, public tours, check the website that we are put on your screen, or you can call the farm directly at 802-388-2011. A final thank you to our hosts, Margot, Kimberly, Sarah, as well as to the University of Vermont College of Agriculture and Life Science, which has been the steward of this farm and facility for more than half a century. Most of all, we thank you for watching. We know you have choices, so thanks for choosing us. I'm Will Michael, inviting you to join us back here each weekday afternoon for another visit across the fence.